Hey there, Miss Higgy coming at you. I'm not going to say anything about it only being a week because it's been more than a week. Forgive me, but bear with me as I get used to doing this on a more regular basis. I promise I'm going to be more consistent. I actually think that I'll probably start coming to you just more regular. As things pop into my mind, I'll just pop on and do a video. So thank you for your support. I hope that you find them interesting and that you'll keep listening. Dag, what do I want to talk about tonight? There was so much that was happening last week, right? A lot of people asked me, what were my thoughts about the Tim Scott situation where he said that America is not racist. Well, Tim Scott saying that is not shocking at all. Tim Scott gets paid to say that. He is a happy black-faced Negro that says the things for, racist white supremacist folks. They get him to say it. So you can't say it was racist because the black guy said it. And he sells his soul for that. I don't understand. But, to each his own. That's what he does. What bothered me was when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden supported what he said, that America is not a racist country. I don't think that's what we elected them to say. Clearly, the United States is a racist country. Racism is as American as apple pie, baseball, and the Star-Spangled Banner. Yes, America is racist, so shame on Kamala Harris, especially for espousing anything other than that. That's just ridiculous. I understand that, people have political aspirations and, unfortunately, politics mean that we can't be open and honest about what we really feel, which is really sad. But say nothing. Absolutely say nothing. Don't give any ammunition or any credence to the narrative that people are wanting to say about us. So, I could give a damn what Tim Scott says because it's Tim Scott. That's what he says. Him and Candace Owens and all the rest of those black folks that are, Republicans who don't stand up. Because there's nothing wrong with being a Republican, but if you're going to be over there, then speak up. Don't support the nonsense that they say that's holding all of us back, right? Um, so again, I could care less what Tim Scott said. But this is very much a racist nation. So shame on Kamala. Shame on Kamala. If she can't show up for us better than that, then she need not show up. And shame on us for not speaking on what she said. Very few people have said anything. I get it. We have this problem, Black America, where we are protecting, our politicians and people in high places, and to our detriment. We needed to have learned from the Barack Obama administration that doesn't work for us. We need to stop doing that. America is very much racist, and we need to be calling Kamala out like now. Like, let her know we are not going to have 3.5 years of making excuses for white folks. So, yes. But anyway, so in this non-racist country, we found out just recently that a young black girl's body was found hanging from a tree in Boston, Massachusetts. Michaela Miller is her name. It's Michaela or Michaela Miller. She was LGBTQ. Apparently she had had a feud with some white girls or something, I'm guessing, a few days before that or the day before. And the next thing you know, she's hanging from a tree. A jogger found her body. Her mother is upset that it was 12 days before the DA reached out to her. And now they're telling her that it will be as much as 3 months before they're able to get the results from an autopsy. And she's not happy about that and feels that, if it were the other way around and, it was a white young lady found hanging from a tree, that it would be more of an emergency and the response would be quicker. That's always our question, the what if. They're saying that she committed suicide. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it makes me think of, I don't know if you all remember the young wrestler who they wanted us to believe committed suicide by rolling himself up in the wrestling mat. His parents are diligent. they're not accepting that. The cops tried to, or the sheriff department or whoever tried to close the DA, close the case, or didn't accept the case as a murder. But how does one roll himself up in a wrestling mat and commit suicide? That's ridiculous. So here, another young black teen. Both of them were teenagers. She was 17, and this young man was in high school. So this is just crazy, but America's not racist. We don't have racism. Did you hear about the teacher in Jersey City in this non-racist nation? White male teacher, teaching landscape science or something like that. How they got on a topic about George Floyd, I have no idea. But he goes on a rant to these students and talks about George Floyd was a criminal and that we have this problem with making heroes out of people just because they're black or just because they, were dealt a tough hand. And, black people aren't the only ones who have, these kinds of tragedies in their life. And he talked about his own life and how he's presumed to have privilege simply because he's white, but that he's not privileged in any kind of way. He drops F-bombs. This thing goes on for 2 days. He comes back the next day and does it again and challenges the young black girl who, by now you would think he knows that he's being recorded, but I don't think he even cared, right? Because they're on Zoom. Anybody could have been recording him. A parent could have been in the room, and he didn't care. He just didn't care. It makes me think of the cops with the body cams who just don't care. So if these people are doing these things, these egregious, outlandish things, when they know they're being recorded, what do they do when they're not being recorded? It's a scary thought. But he's on administrative leave with pay. Of course he is. What else do they do? Will he be fired? I don't know. He has tenure, so that's a problem. And, what will be the position of the union? Will they try and support this guy? But anyway, I encourage you to Google it, find the video. You will be shocked. You will be shocked that this guy said this. He tells this young girl, she's 17, tells her that she's full of shit, A teacher says this to a student. And she records it. She records it because she says otherwise the principal would never have believed her. Jersey City, New Jersey, folks. New Jersey, this happened. But it's a non-racist nation. Yes, racism. What else happened in the non-racist nation? Oh, poor Michaela Bryant. I hope I'm getting her name right. She's in Ohio. And poor Michaela was in foster care. Reportedly, her foster mother was having issues with controlling her, or she was talking back to her or something. And rather than this foster mother, who clearly should not be a foster mother, dealing with it on her own or calling the state to, come pick up Michaela, she solicits support from grown women, like one of them is supposed to be 28. And these women come to Michaela's house for a couple of days, harassing her. They're going to put her in check for the foster mother. It's just ridiculous. Like grown women, how ignorant can they be? Long story short, I don't know. She called the cops, her sister called, somebody calls the cops, and Michaela is lunging at this young lady with a knife, and the cop shoots her. Should he have shot her? A lot of people said he could have just used a taser. He never instructed her to drop the knife. And again, the what if question. What if she were white? Would he have shot her? The go-to when it's black people is just shoot. We'll shoot. We'll deal with it later, And that's a problem. The poor young lady, she was just failed all around, was she not feeling supported enough by whoever her social worker was that she could have picked up the phone and said she was being harassed in this house and that she needed to be moved? Her father was on the scene, her natural father, so I'm not sure. I'm sure we're going to hear more about this case. And again, I think this cop, like other folks, I think he's out on paid leave. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. It's just a bad situation. On a good note in racist America, though, Facebook did not let Donald Trump back on. Ah, oh, thank you, God. I don't know about you, but I am so happy to wake up in the morning without the anxiety, at least, of what the guy in the White House said or did that embarrassed us or made us less safe. I mean, it is just peace not to have him on Facebook. So I'm really happy about them. Actually, it was the oversight committee for Facebook. They kind of threw the ball back in Mark Zuckerberg's court and said, you decide, this is your company, you fix it. So pretty much they just said, he's off for at least the next 6 months. And I hope they don't let him back on. There's just no reason. This man led an insurrection against the United States. There should be no question about whether or not he should be back on Facebook. Of course he shouldn't. Let's do the what if again. What if he was black? Would there be any question? No. And he would not be on Facebook or any social media. He would have been arrested. He would have been kicked out of the White House, all kinds of stuff. So at least let us not be subjected to him anymore. Please, he's never going to go away, but for us to be tortured by him every day is just not necessary. So we'll put one in, the good column in terms of, doing racist, doing something that wasn't in the best interest of anti-racism. Okay. And then, I think about the tolerance of Donald Trump and how also this week or last week or recently, Damon John, the FUBU guy from Shark Tank, he tweeted that he thought Louis Farrakhan did a wonderful sermon for DMX's funeral. And we're supposed to hate Louis Farrakhan because everybody says we should. And all hell broke loose to the point that he withdrew his, he rescinded his tweet and apologized. And, I was proud of him for about 5 minutes. Nobody gets to tell us no more than they get to tell anybody else who in our community we can and should or should not support or allow into our village. No, I don't know what other community that this happens for. I mean, we've had people like Rush Limbaugh, Strom Thurmond, people who've done horrible things, but I don't think that anyone has ever said to treat them like a pariah. Don't let them, if you say something positive about them, somehow you're painted with a negative brush. No. So, Louis Farrakhan is our brother. Of course, he preached a good sermon because he's a brilliant orator. And, maybe everything he says, we don't have to agree with everything he says. We don't have to, but we get to decide. So of course he gave a good sermon. And, so shame on Damon. And I understand Allen Iverson did the same. He too is apologizing for commenting on DMX's, on the good sermon that he gave. So, I don't know. Oh, the last thing I want to talk about is this juror. What in the heck was he thinking? So the juror from the Derek Chauvin trial, when they questioned the jurors to screen them for being placed on the jury, they asked them, had they been to any of the rallies? And he denied it. He was honest in the fact that he did say that he supports Black Lives Matter. So maybe this isn't as bad as it sounds because he wasn't totally dishonest. But, the problem is that pictures of him showed up. Of course they did, because he's the only one that's been on the TV apparently doing interviews. Somebody found a picture of him at, and he says it was not a Black Lives Matter rally. It was a rally for the anniversary of the March on Washington. So he didn't feel he was being dishonest. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. So I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, why jeopardize the trial like this? So we'll have to see how that shakes out. The t-shirt he had on when he was discovered at this rally didn't help. It didn't help that the t-shirt said um, something about America having their foot on Black folks' neck or something, which is true. America does have their foot on our neck. So this whole thing with Derek Chauvin, that was just symbolic of what we really live. Um, but so we'll see. I don't know, but to me, it was just like a dumb move, brother man. Why? Why? Don't even sit on the jury. Don't jeopardize the case. Even though I feel strongly that if it's retried, that Derek Chauvin will be convicted again. The problem is that the defense now will be prepared for a better bite at the apple. So let's see what happens with that. So on that note, coming live from non-racist America, Miss Higgi saying good night, signing off, wishing all the mothers a happy, happy Mother's Day. My mother is gone. I miss her so much. It's been more than 30 years. There's nobody like your mother. I don't care what nobody says. So if you still got your mama, if you got somebody that treats you good like a mama, let them know that you love them. Give them their hugs and kisses and their flowers while they're here. Don't hold back what you're feeling, and just do right. Do right. Do the right thing. And when they leave, you mourn them, but you don't have any guilt. You just miss them, and that makes a big difference. So tell them that you love them while they're here. So on that note, I'm going to say good night, and I hope to see you soon. I won't say next week, but who knows? Could be. I'll see you sooner than you think. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you'll what do they say? Like, click, and subscribe, and share it with a friend. And please come back again. Miss Higgi signing off. Bye.